Hello, my name is Sam Ingrassia. I live in the Dallas, Texas area, and I appreciate this opportunity and for you taking the time to allow me to share with you about a path, a productive path for creating healthy workplace environment. It's called Ascending Health. Essentially, what it's all about is meeting with business owners, leaders, managers, supervisors, really all different levels of leadership and their teams to help promote healthy workplace environment. It's really about developing holistic benefit for people, both professionally and personally. I believe people can be motivated to bring their best selves to work because it's not only a place where they gain, so to speak, their living, their paycheck, but they gain in other ways as well. And so they're motivated to give more and more of themselves truly and genuinely to the benefit of the workplace because of the benefit they're receiving as well. So I'm going to walk through this deck with you today, and I pray that you will be motivated, encouraged, and challenged a little bit as well. Ascending Health. Let's start out by playing a little game of Jeopardy here for a moment. So, you know how Jeopardy works, I assume. Jeopardy means that I give you the answer and then you give me the question. And so, as they say, the answer is an intentionally controlled environment designed to promote healthy and optimum growth. Well, think about it a moment. What is an intentionally controlled environment that's designed to promote healthy and optimum growth? Well, the answer is a greenhouse. There you have it. A greenhouse, whether it's an amateur level greenhouse like this in someone's backyard as a hobby, or of course, even a professional level business, a greenhouse of this magnitude, growing all kinds of vegetables and flowers and whatnot. Now, the fact is, if we were entering into a greenhouse business and we were going to manage this place for optimum growth, fact is, we have to pay attention to work on several fronts. One is what I would say is a proactive work, and then there's the defensive work. Proactive work is all of the vital signs that we need to pay attention to create this optimum environment for growth and development. But then there's defensive work we need to do to hold out the enemies, to hold out the pests. And so there are vital signs that we need to attend to every day, day in and day out, to control this optimum environment. And it would be things like this: temperature, humidity, ventilation, the lighting that comes in, the watering that needs to take place, not only from above on top of plants, but irrigation, bringing water to the roots, pest control that would need to fight off these enemies, fertilizer to promote growth. There's actually proper spacing that needs to be held in an environment like this so things can grow well. And clearly, there's a set of specialized tools of all manner of things that we need to control and to help promote the growth of all these wonderful plants. Well, point is, you've got to pay attention to all of these things to help this environment really be optimized. I submit to you that life is like a greenhouse. Each and every one of our own lives has an environment and a culture around it. And we seek and we hope to promote it in such a way that our lives are growing well, influencing, impacting others around us. Not only are our lives an environment, a greenhouse, if you will, but the workplace is also a greenhouse environment. The point is that with ascending health, I believe we can give attention and focus to the vital signs in a workplace that'll give people benefit, both again, professionally and personally, where they're motivated to bring them best selves to the workplace. Ascending health is addressing a mindset, and it's also addressing certain skill sets that allow this health to ascend through the workplace. Business teams certainly need to and give volumes of attention to the planning and execution of their work. But with ascending health, the rationale is taking these leaders up to another level, away from the conference table at one level to another level, to talk about how is it that we're working? What kind of environment, what kind of culture are we running here in this place of work? And how can we attend to it to bring it to an ascending health? Now, let's talk about a purposeful and successful team. I know this is really boiling it down to the basics, but you've got to give attention to strategic plan. I'm suggesting you need to give attention to healthy environment. Strategic plan is doing the right things, but healthy environment is doing those right things with the right behaviors. I think this just makes good sense as we think about dealing with people. Leaders not only need to have accurate strategic plans where the right things are being done, but the healthy environment, the right kind of behaviors, the right kind of treatment of people is a game changer, pushing up into ascending health. I love Patrick Lencioni, a business writer, just excellent in our generation. I love this quote: "The health of an organization is the single greatest factor determining success. Organizational health, when properly understood and placed into the right context, will surpass all of the disciplines in business as the greatest opportunity for improvement and competitive advantage." That's the bullseye right there. It's not just about the smart side of an organization, it's about the people side, the health side, which will enhance the smart side. So let's talk about the model of ascending health. What's all of this look like? Of course, we want the business to be healthy. And there's three things here. I believe a people orientation, as I've been talking about a little bit, a productivity, obviously, and a profitability. We want to have a healthy business that attends to people in a holistic way, is productive, and is profitable. The only way that takes place is that the main departments of that business are all run healthy and that are running with a leadership, strong and healthy leadership up under those departments. Up under leadership health is relational health. Under relational health is emotional health, and ultimately spiritual health. Let me explain how these blocks sort of ascend and stack up upon one another. We're looking for people orientation, productivity, profitability. This means that we're talking about a business has a growing reputation and a true impact for good in the marketplace. But those departments that help that business run well must all be run with efficiency and effectiveness. I envision a picture of gears that are meshed together as they turn and run. These departments are not running in silos, but they must run in synergy and connectedness with efficiency and effectiveness. The only way that's going to happen if they're led well. My emphasis in the leadership health dimension is influencing with competence and with care. It's not just having competent leaders who truly know their trade and know what to do, but I submit to you, there's a whole dimension about a people orientation and leadership where caring is the key. Maybe you've heard the quote before: people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I believe this is really true. And that leadership is not just about leading, it's really about serving. More of a mindset that we have in our leaders who not only have competence, but that have care, people that know where we need to go, can help us arrive there successfully. If they do it not only with skill, but they do it with care, they're going to carry that team up into a healthy department and into a healthy business. Under leadership health is relationship health. And what I'm talking here is about authentic and beneficial interactions. We're connecting and communicating constantly, obviously, but the more health we have in these relationships, where there is authenticity, where there's beneficial interactions with people, where there's peacefulness, helpfulness, it's going to enhance the entire culture of that greenhouse at work. How is it that people are able to have a relational health? Up under that is emotional health. Now we're moving more into the individual. This is accuracy of self-awareness. How important is this? That my own emotional stability and equilibrium helps me know who I am and how I relate to people well. It's not only about self-awareness in terms of really looking in that personal mirror to answer the question, do I really know who I am? But the other part of it is, do I realize how I come across? How is it that people experience me? This is obviously very important dimension of self-awareness. I get me, but how do people experience me? There can be sometimes a great gap in this space. It's something we need to address to have emotional health, which befits all of this ascending health. And under that is spiritual health. At Ascending Health, we have a Christian orientation. I really work best with businesses and leaders who have a Christian orientation. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ myself. I've been in pastoral ministry for years, missional ministry, and leadership development for many years internationally and across the United States. I believe that people who are in connection with God, who recognize there's another level of life and there's another level of accountability, just enhances our own peacefulness, our own spiritual life. Spiritual life gives equilibrium and stability to emotional life. It ascends to relational health and so on up the chain. And so these are the ascending health dimensions, if you will. And I dot the lines between these blocks to show that it's not just hard, you know, definitive levels split apart from one another. It literally flows up and down the chain. The dotted lines illustrate the fluidity of these different dimensions. So imagine that if the department is not run well, imagine if the leadership health is a gap. Imagine if in the relationships there's no sense of authenticity or benefit, but almost an atmosphere of manipulation and confusion. What if emotional health is not solid, where people don't really understand who they are? I'm telling you, it was going to create a gap in how they relate to other people. And ultimately, we believe that if there's a gap with God, there's a whole piece of energy and life that's missing that's going to impact everything else. To add a little bit of color here, what we're talking about is these gray blocks: leadership, relationship, emotion, and spirit constitute the mindset, and we give attention to the skill sets of how we create health in these important areas. The turn departments green, they're efficient and effective, they feed the business health, they are supported by the vital signs: leadership, relationships, emotion, and spirit. Essentially, what I'm saying, it's about God, it's about self-awareness, it's about authenticity, and it's about caring. If we give attention to these vital signs: spiritual life, emotional life, relationship life, and leadership life that's not just competent, but that's actually caring and serving, I promise you, it can be a game changer. It will help people have a more holistic and healthy orientation and encouragement. It will create an atmosphere of productivity, a benefit of profitability, which is required for good success, obviously. But there's another dimension here, and it's being charitable. How is it that the business in this generation, in our culture and context, gives back to the world, gives back to its own community, and not only outside the business, but how is it that it gives back inside the business itself to care for its own people well? And so here we have ascending health. I want to help you and your business ascend in health. The way to do it is to give attention to these vital signs, mindset and skill sets enhanced. The approach is not teaching. The approach is facilitating relevant discussions. I have found all we're doing is drawing out what is often already in the hearts and minds of your people. We need to dig in there to pull out what's already in heart and mind. The bottom line is creating a healthy environment, productive work, and personal well-being. The outcomes, I've seen it over and over again, a motivated people, an attractive culture that's like a magnet, a market impact, and growing influence of the business. Wouldn't it be awesome to work in a place where these things are true, where people were motivated, the culture was attractive, they were having a market impact, and the influence was high? With Ascending Health, there's several different kinds of offerings because we want to meet the need. I can meet with teams in what I call Ascending Health, giving attention to these vital signs of business productivity. Another dimension is meeting with an individual through a process called Life Plan, looking at where a person is now, how they got to where they are now by looking over the past, and then looking based on a fresh basis into the future. What is your purpose? What is your preferred future? Life Plan creates a personal strategic plan with personal benefits, fruitfulness, and outcomes. It's a tremendous 2-day full facilitation. Another offering is what I call Igniting Our Influence, a leadership engagement, fresh impact in 5 areas of life. And then another engagement was with leadership and teams woven together, discovering your wins. How do you get to the next level in 90 days or less? Well, these are the offerings of Ascending Health. I hope this has been a challenge to you, a little bit of a motivation. I believe that I can help you and your team get to the next level to ascend in holistic health. So thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Sam Ingrassia. Look forward to talking to you soon.